Welcome to day 15 of 21-day weight loss challenge. So, today we're going to speak to finding joy inside of movement. So, we really want to make anytime we move our body enjoyable so it continues to hit those dopamine receptors and you'll want to come back and do it again. So, many of us think that, movement requires formal exercise, that we go to the gym and we lift weights or we run and check off the list. Yes, I did my exercise for the day. But what if we change the conversation around what actual exercise is? But instead of exercise, let's think about movement. So, how do we do that? How do we find joy in movement? Maybe when we struggle to do prescribed exercise in the past, and you were just like, I'm just not having fun. So what's the point? So, or maybe you got injured, or maybe you got gung ho and just burned out very, very quickly. Well, here's some tips to help you get started. And then we'll talk about your action plan and then the actual writing and reflection side of that. So, first of all, we want to understand that when we shift from fitness goals to embracing movement as a source of pleasure, well being, and self expression, we're going to change the dynamic in the thought of movement in other ways. So we may be seeking movement because we enjoy it. So first of all, let's explore different activities. Experiment, right? So try various types of physical activities that you may want to play with, something like, let's say, doing something inside versus outside. This could be dancing, it could be hiking, it could be yoga, swimming, cycling, martial arts, or even team sports. It doesn't matter. The main thing is that you find some fun factor, right? So choose activities that feel fun and engaging rather than those you feel like you should do. Okay. Listen to your body. So, first of all, comfort and ability. So, pay attention to how your body feels during and after different activities. Choose movements that make your body feel good and energized, but not strained or excessively fatigued. And then adapt and modify. That's really important piece here because we want to avoid injury, especially when you're just starting out. Now, you may decide or may already be a runner or doing hiking on a regular basis or a swimmer and you'd like to compete. I'm not talking to these type of movements. So like I said, I want to go back to things that if you're new to movement and exercise, but really want to focus in on how to make this fun. So when we're looking at your comfort and ability, but we also want to think about adapting in your mobility, or modify, adapting and modifying. So you can modify activities to suit your fitness and physical capabilities. Remember, the goal is enjoyment and not pushing through pain. An example might be, instead of doing, on the floor yoga, maybe you encompass something like chair yoga. So there you're still doing movements and still finding enjoyment, but we've adapted to your personal capabilities. Incorporate social interaction. This is so very important to build a community of like-minded individuals who enjoy the actual activity with you, because now you not only do it for the sake of movement and enjoyment of seeing what your body can do, but now you have that social interaction factor, which is a really important thing to think about when we're starting to build new habits into our life, is that social interaction can be very compelling. So maybe you try group classes or other like meetup type of activities. You could do a workout with friends, right? So maybe engage in physical activities with friends or family members. It's a great way to stay motivated as you start moving your body. When my kids were little, we called this forced family fun. It's a time for another story for another time. The other thing is we really want to set realistic goals, okay? So achievable targets. So set realistic and achievable goals that provide a sense of accomplishment without overwhelming you. We don't want to go run a marathon if we've been sitting on the couch for many, many months. Maybe focus on non-physical goals. Focus on goals beyond weight loss or muscle gain, such as improving mood, reducing your stress, gaining flexibility. Some things need to be tied to the number on the scale, but honestly, the majority don't have to be. This is just about getting out and moving. It doesn't have to be considered a success if you see a number move on a scale, or if you feel that you've, again, achieved a goal by lifting heavier weights. The point here, remember, is fun, having joy in movement. All right. So focus on the experiments. You want to be mindful in our movement. So practice mindfulness during physical activities. Remember, mindfulness is just being present in the moment, not thinking about the end or what you're going to be doing tomorrow. Although sometimes that is a nice place. Like when I go for my morning walks, I like to reflect on different things. I'm not necessarily focused on every step, but I do try to take points within the walk to pause and look around and really take in the birds, the sounds, the mountains, the trees, the other people around me. So you can do that throughout your exercise. Also, being very attentive to your breath can be very helpful, especially if you're doing something like yoga, sensations in the body, things like that. And a big part of this, I think, is if you can enjoy the outdoors, I would encourage you to do so. Like being near the ocean or the beach or within, a park, or even uh, maybe there's a small garden in your back. Maybe you have some flowers on a patio if you live in an apartment. Or maybe it's just being, if you're stuck indoors and it's bad weather outside, maybe you have several plants around you. Again, somewhere where there's greenery and nature can really have a profound effect on your overall well-being. Plus, it's much more enjoyable, I think, to be outside. All right, so create a positive environment, music and ambiance, right? So use music to make your exercise more enjoyable. You can create playlists that uplift and motivate you. I know that if I'm working out, I prefer to have music as well. Pleasant surroundings, choose environments that are pleasant and inspiring, like a scenic park, maybe a cozy home space, or maybe even a gym if you really want to go to a gym and do like a group class or something. And then reflect on your benefits, right? We're going to get to that in a minute, but there really are some physical and mental health benefits from exercise. Just acknowledge the benefits to your mental clarity and your emotional well-being when you move your body. Motion is lotion for the body, but it is also very helpful for your overall mood and happiness and joy through the day. There's some interesting research showing that exercise is as good as some of the SSRIs or medications for, a good solid 8 hours during the day. So again, I don't have those studies in front of me to quote you all the particular scientific literature, but you do know that you do feel better after exercise, especially if it's exercise or movement that you haven't forced and you've just been trudging along. And then also, I would say cultivate gratitude, that you can actually move your body. And if you are struggling to move your body, like maybe everyone else, have gratitude for what you can do. And that's another big thing. This gratitude brings another positive element and another component of joy to movement. And be flexible and kind to yourself, right? So let's say that you are struggling to find time. It's okay to do this 2 times a week or maybe 3 times a week versus, trying to think you have to fit it in every day. Remember, this is supposed to be joyful movement. Um, I have found that if I don't take my morning walk ever at this point, and it's such a habit and such a joy, and it's such a way to set my mind for it to go and challenge, take on the challenges of the day. I think finding a place for movement somewhere in your day is really, really important. So you might want to try to figure out how to do, even if it's just, 10 to 15 minutes a day. That's a fantastic start. And remember, on your fitness journey, be kind to yourself and have self-compassion. You really want to avoid the self-criticism and the negative self-talk. And if you haven't heard my talk on day 14 of this 21-day challenge, go back to yesterday, watch the live video there, or check out What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Dr. Shad Helmstetter, because this negative self-talk can have many, many, many detrimental effects, not only to your mental health, but your physical health and overall well-being. So that being said, go move your body, guys. Have fun doing it. Find joy, and let me know below what you are doing or have done to find joy in your everyday movement. And I'll be back tomorrow with day 16 of this 21-day challenge. I'll see you then.